Hello, welcome.
Hello, guys.
We have another guest host. We're getting a little bonus episodes. I managed to use slave labour and draw in my family. So Mark is not here. We've sacked him. He's gone. He's gone. So who are you, my new guest host?
Favourite child of the family.
Are you?
Flynn Rocco Roberts.
Full name?
Born here for duty. The son of the family. Ready
The
for
son.
podcast.
And your age, please?
17 years of age.
17.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Big 1-7.
How's it feel being 17?
It doesn't actually. I feel like I'll feel old when I'm 18, but not at 17. 17, I'm still young. I'm still the youngest in the family. Just
You are still young, and you'll always be the youngest in
Yep.
this family, funny
Yep,
enough, because
funny enough.
I'm not having any more children. Just
Yep.
putting it out there.
But
No
I
more.
look the young. I probably look one of the oldest out of the children. And
Do you?
Yeah, I definitely look older than Amber.
Why do you think that?
I think it's mainly because of my smile.
Your smile.
Yeah,
That's what does
definitely
it.
not my features.
Just your smile.
Just my smile. My smile makes me.
Does it? Smile ages you, does it? Okay.
Yep.
I see. Okay, so we'll talk about 17. So what happens, what's like a big milestone for you when you hit 17? What could you do that you couldn't do before?
Well, moving into sixth form.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Not really much. Because
Driving?
Oh yeah, driving. I've started
thing.
driving.
Well, it's like learning.
Learning driving.
Learning.
But I could pretty much take my test and pass right now.
Yeah,
but,
right now. Literally after like
You know.
6 lessons.
Hey ho. Not really much. 16s are the big one, and then 18s also the big one. You know, get a few. Hey,
You can legally drink,
Yep.
because obviously you don't drink any
No.
alcohol whatsoever right
you
now.
know me. Everyone out there knows me. I'm pretty.
Hold on a second.
Pretty sensible.
Pause. We've got an invasion
Oh, Ziggy.
of a dog. Hold on, people. Hi, welcome back. So 17, learning to drive. 18, you can drink legally, obviously, because you don't drink any alcohol whatsoever now.
Yep.
Yeah. What? Okay. So what's 17 now? But what can you remember? What was like your earliest memory? What's an early memory that you remember when you were ickle little thing?
I'd probably say that wedding that we went to, where I was like dripped out in that suit.
Oh, okay. So that was my cousin
Yeah.
Stephen's. I think it was Stephen's or Martin's. I can't remember. No, it was Stephen's wedding, I think.
I remember that's probably my earliest when I was like, what, 2 or
Yeah.
3.
And you had a really cool. You looked slightly Winston Churchill because you
I was
had
stripped
a
out.
very large head when you were tiny.
I mean, the ladies there were loving that. They were loving the suit.
Were they?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, you did look very cute because you had literally a navy blue little suit and you were like this tiny little thing with a very large head, but you had like little trainers and looked quite cool. No tie, just
Dripped
like
out.
cool. Dripped out, yes.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Not really anything from nursery. I remember that. It's kind of just like big events. Well, that wasn't really like a big event. Probably my first.
But do you remember the
day...
suit thing because you've seen photos of it?
Yeah, but yeah. I'd probably say my first day at Rokeby as well when I was like
Cool.
4. But I can't remember anything before that.
It's funny because
I'm an old guy.
You're so old. But I think your nursery school, because you met it's 2 of your quite good mates still.
Yeah.
Well, quite a few of your mates really. That was quite a gang of you.
Yeah.
Friends of ours, kids, but also who went to the same nursery school. You don't remember, like, what about like swimming lessons and things like
I'm
that?
a great swimmer, so I didn't really have many lessons when I was younger.
You say that. That was one of your biggest fears.
Probably at Nuffield Health. I remember doing those swimming lessons.
Yeah, but that's
there.
later on. That's like when you're about 7, 8, maybe.
Don't think so.
Yeah, because you were like the one in near.
Okay, well,
where
I
Amber
remember
learned.
doing that.
Okay.
But I don't really remember anything from early years of rugby except from like sport-wise.
Well, that's probably like a current trend all the
Well,
way
yeah,
through your
but it
life,
was just
isn't it?
like
You primarily remember the sport
Playing
stuff.
like cricket and for the first time. And
Do you remember teachers?
Yes. Yes, I do. I remember. Am I allowed to name the
You
teachers?
can name them, but you don't necessarily need to.
But I can't remember the teachers. But I can't remember my reception teachers. But I had like I can remember the sports teachers. Obviously, Mr. Williams,
Mr. Schmid.
Mr. Schmid, Mr. Wilson, the football coach. He was a big one.
Yeah, because like when you first started, so when you were little, obviously I think being a second child, I know because we're both second children, you end up...
become the favourite. I don't know about you, but
I'm not the favourite.
I'm definitely the favourite.
You
in
think
the family.
so?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come back to
With
that
the
one,
grandparents as well, they all love me.
Yeah. But I think being a second child, first child, you've got like, as a parent, you've got this sort of, I suppose, nice time of where you've got all the time is about that one child. And then when you have two, you've already set up all these activities and things for like your sister.
Well, I think
and then you end up having to be not dragged along, but you end up like trying to go and trying to fit in at the same time.
I joke about Amber being very like young and immature and all of those things, but I do think because I am the second child, she's doing all those things for the first time, but I'm kind of just not following what she's doing, but all the like children's stuff she's already done, so it's a bit easier for me. So I'm probably more grown up than her.
Yeah, I think having an older sibling, I mean, I don't know, I can't speak for myself specifically.
You do have an older sibling.
I do have an older sibling, but we are so different, and we had very different...
He's much better looking. He's
He listens to the podcast, so you're going to now be his favourite nephew.
He is the favourite.
Yeah.
We're both
But
favourites.
no, we're very different, so we have very different... Well, I think you and Amber are probably a little bit more similar, and in your lifestyles and your sort of personalities and things like that, than me and my brother were.
I also think it's a gender thing as well, because you're probably people that
I had a brother.
Yeah, but I'm saying I have a sister.
Yeah.
And I'm saying people that are like, if you have an older brother, you'll be much more like your brother instead of having an older sister.
I think it's a good thing I think out of your friendship groups, why is it you and your dad both fiddle with your faces when you're talking?
It's because these jaw lines that me and Mark both have. It's
Can't see
actually
him, he's got
hard
a
to
beard.
actually like keep up with them. We've got to
You've
keep
just
on
got to
moulding
keep
them.
sculpting them, have you?
Yeah.
Like that. If you keep rubbing it, does it
Yeah.
like get more sculpted?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
What I was going to say was, I think out of your friendship group, the boys who you're friends with who have older sisters, or at least a sister, tend to be a bit
Better with
less...
the ladies. What can I say?
Maybe, but like less alpha, testosterone-y, like just, and like you say, more comfortable around girls and being able to talk to girls, not necessarily girlfriends, but like friends who are girls, just like be around girls and not be awkward or as uncomfortable because you're used to having girls in the house and friends of your sisters or whatever always around. I think the boys who are just in an all-male environment is quite... It's a bit, not always,
But then I have a few friends who have no siblings.
Yeah.
And I think they're better. They're a lot more grown up. Well, obviously, they're more independent, but they also are kind of the same with like sisters, and they can socialise with a lot of people.
And yeah, it's a sweeping statement.
There's
I know,
only one
but...
person that I know that isn't like that, and that's my father. He's just, his social skills are absolutely terrible, and he's a single child. But my friends...
And he went to an all-boys school.
Yeah.
Until sixth form, there were no girls at his school.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's go back. So your school, your first school, after nursery, was all boys. Mm-hmm. You didn't really know a different way. So did you find that was... Probably for all boys,
I
quite
think
fun.
if I went, like, some of my friends came from my school and then joined Epsom in year 9, they probably struggled more because they've had, 8 years of just, all boys. But I joined in year 7, which was mixed from then. And then going into year 9, you already had the friends from lower school. And then it was much easier for them people coming in from all boys school.
But I think also, like we say, there's certain, if you're around a co-ed family, if you like, or, a mix, girls and boys, I can't speak to it, mixed family. So you've got sisters, brothers, cousins, people around you, and you're comfortable in that environment. If you're just all boys, it can be a little bit more awkward. And especially at that age, I just think it's a really hard age to come into a secondary school. So you'd already been there for 2 years. It all girls and boys together, all know each other.
Yeah.
And then a whole nother intake comes in year 9. And especially if you are slightly awkward or you're not used to being around girls, and it's a really awkward age, your age 13, 14 at your sort of peak puberty, changing, growing, trying to find your way, and have you got a cool haircut? And it's really more judgmental, I think, at that age.
Yeah.
Have you got a cool haircut? We'll talk about your haircuts in a minute. Yeah.
I do have a cool haircut.
I just think it's really hard being a teenager anyway. I just think, and I think your relationship, you and Amber have quite a good relationship, I think, as siblings.
I've seen better, but
You've seen better? What?
I've seen better.
Who?
I'm not going to name names.
No,
but
I think you do. And I think you do.
I just don't think she can handle me succeeding, which I help her when she succeeds and cheer her on. But as soon as I succeed, which is, yeah, she just seems to, her ego just gets in the way.
That's utter rubbish. I just think you're lucky because I think you have a sister who wants to help you mostly with
She's
things.
also a bit of a bloke. So, back in the day,
Well,
could
she's
play
not
a
a
bit
bit
of
of a
rugby,
bloke.
bit of football with her.
She's
quite good.
sporty, so you're lucky. She's not a really
She rugged lad now.
girly girl who's not up for getting muddy and chucking a ball around and fighting. I mean, when you were little, it was really funny. Not funny. It's funny now,
I
but
got bullied.
you were quite bullied by your sister physically
The
because she
tables
was
have
bigger
turned.
and stronger. And
The tables have turned.
I did warn her. I did say, look, you push him around now on the trampoline. See how tall Dad is. He's going to be at least
Taller than Dad.
Not yet. At least that height. And you're not, I don't think.
She's the smallest in the family.
She's little, only by a little smidge. She's only a tiny smidge, but she has got the smallest hands.
She's got big hands.
She's got baby hands.
Yeah.
I love her baby hands.
Yeah.
Okay, so school was fine, and then mixed school was better probably for you. I think you were just ready, because you could have stayed at your school to year 8.
There were some people from my school who probably actually, even now, could have been better at just an all-boys school through secondary school as well. But I think the people that left for lower school from my old school were also ready to and had the social skills.
I think you sort of outgrown your school, and everybody's different, and that's what parents. I think as parents, you don't really always take into consideration. You just look at the educational route or whatever like that, and actually, it's more than that. It's bigger than that. It's more important for your child to be happy. If they're happy somewhere, and they're ready, they're confident with themselves and not arrogant, confident, then they're going to thrive. If they're really underachieving and being a lot of pressure and it's not the right environment for them to feel comfortable, it's a really tough one. So sports, Flynn, we have to talk about sport obviously because you don't do any, so we're trying to encourage them to do sport. It's really hard. I have to say, when me and Dad first had kids or thought about having children, we were like, oh, what if they don't want to do sport? What if they just want to sit indoors and read, and we don't have a child that wants to do sport?
That's what I want to do, just sit indoors and read.
And
but
we force
my parents
you
don't
out.
let me, so this is what I've come to.
So first sports for you was actually you did what was the first ones for you? Probably swimming. Obviously that's important.
Gymnastics.
You wouldn't put your face in
class.
you wouldn't put your face in the water when you were little.
Yeah, but that was because of my looks back in the day.
You didn't want to ruin your hair.
But I was not the best. I wasn't the most talented swimmer. I didn't really.
No, you weren't the most confident swimmer, I would say.
But I'd say talented, but
confident. You were not a confident water person, and it's still not your favourite thing in open water.
Get me in a pool. Oof.
Swimming pool, you're
Best
fine.
swimmer in the family.
Swimming pool, you're fine. Okay. We'll just gloss over that one. So swimming, you obviously started, and then gym tots. We did gym tots again because Amber was doing gymnastics, and gymnastics was my background, but also to try and get. I think it's just a really good all round. So you got good balance, strength, throw yourself around, body awareness. So you did gym tots for a bit, and then that was like a bit too much, wasn't it, for you?
I think I was kind of getting forced into that. I was like,
and then
that was my route.
But also when you first started, I remember because we're a rugby family, obviously, and Dad was like obsessed, brainwashed you with rugby. I remember you and a lot of your friends in your primary school when you were in like reception year 1 or if they had dads who were more into football. Yeah. So they would I remember you with Massimo, Italian, going and playing and then just getting shouted. You hated football because every time you played football, you'd run and then you'd try and pick up the ball and run with it like a rugby ball. Yeah. And you just get shouted at all the time by all the football dads and all the football boys. Yeah. So you hated football. I think Dad took you to some football
how old was I?
I'm talking like 4.
Oh right, okay.
3, 4, no, 4, 5.
Because I'd gone through different stages. I'd say like 4 till. Rugby. I was like 4 till 8. Was probably rugby was my main sport, and then 8 till I'd say
16,
15. Yeah, 15 was football. You did
football, yeah. And that's what I mean. So it wasn't until you started at your primary school that you actually then played football, like in the playground and with all the other boys. Yeah. And then your love of football came along. And so you stopped doing the rugby, like the under 6, under 7 Wimbledon rugby stuff, and then moved into doing football with your mate. We had to decide because everything's at the weekends, so it's really tough.
Yeah.
And football you loved?
I mean, had Fulham trials, on the ball.
Didn't?
Yeah, Susie, please.
Chelsea.
Okay, Chelsea. I was best on the ball, but off the ball they just had to release me because I just wasn't working hard enough as a team.
I think it's because you wore all yellow to your tryout.
Yeah, that was just
basically the colour of the chair you're sitting on. I remember that.
But no, I did really like football and much more than rugby from when I was at Rugby, and then I'd probably say rugby became my favourite sport. Like, year 10 was like football and rugby were kind of equal, and then when it went into year 11, I was...
And the thing you have to decide, that's a tough one, because you like both.
Yeah.
And I think, the rugby was definitely pulling you across.
Yeah, definitely.
And ongoing life, what do you think you would like to do? It's a big question here. Big question!
What in my future life?
Your life plans,
what do I want?
Please, Flynn Roberts.
If I could choose anything to do, what would I want to do?
Realistic. Fairly realistic. Not like...
I definitely
dream realistic. Not like...
Okay, well, I definitely want to do something with sport. If that is rugby, or if that is another sport, maybe sevens, rugby sevens.
Still rugby, but good.
It's classed differently.
No.
But definitely if I don't do something which is actually playing sport, obviously I'll be playing sport, but not, I mean like sport at the highest level. I mean something to do with sport anyway, like...
What's coaching?
Similar things to what Mark does.
So basically you just want to be a dad?
I don't want to be my dad because... Obviously, he's not been genetically gifted as me.
Because you haven't been made. You've got my genetics.
I've got Susie's genetics, so I don't really want to go down that path with the ginger path and all of that.
Well, luckily for you and your sister, neither of you. This isn't against gingers, but you didn't. The dark hair.
I got the freckles.
The dark gene was strong. We've all got dark brown eyes, dark brown hair. You've got really dark brown hair, like mine used to be back in the day. Amber's hair's a bit lighter. But she's got the dark skin. You've got the freckles. Do you think you'd like freckles? More freckles?
Yeah. Would I like more freckles? No.
Why?
I've got enough of my face.
You've got enough. It's got enough.
Yeah,
it's okay.
I've got enough for people to notice it, but enough not to be just like the freckle person.
Not
it's
distinctive.
Like Dad's personality, just he's the freckle person.
He's the ginger freckle bloke. It was when we first met. We'd go out in London and everybody would recognise him because I think he was just distinctively memorable as this ginger.
People would recognise you more than him.
Well, yeah, ginger freckled bloke. Thanks, Flynn. You're my bestie.
Yeah,
my bestie. Talking of parents, which is your favourite parent? No, I'm joking. Parents. Okay. What was it like? Earliest memory of your parents? Do you remember? Well, not earliest memory. What I mean is like. What was it like having such amazing parents? That's basically the question.
My mother was always on my side, as people say. I'm a mother's boy.
You're not a mummy's boy. You still are quite an affectionate, cuddly boy. You liked your cuddles when you were little.
Don't embarrass me now, Susie.
No, I'm not. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's to be confident, to come up and hug you, mum, after matches and things like that.
I mean, I never really had a father that ever actually believed in me.
What
with
a load
anything.
of rubbish.
So if he's listening to this, he can actually change from this.
What a load of rubbish.
Joking. No, father was very good with my sport, obviously, and like pushing me with that and all of the rugby, because obviously he played rugby as well. Susie also very, very sporty with the gym stuff and all of that, and the aerobics, and everyone's coming to watch me, with the grandparents come to watch me. But yes, very supportive parents.
So who do you think you're more like though? What parts of me and what parts of Mark do you think?
I mean, I like you more, but I'm probably more like Mark. So
I always say when you were little, both you and Amber, I used to say you looked like me, but both behaved like him. And people didn't see it. I think now you are more like
and
Dad.
I think when we were younger, I was probably more like you, and Amber was more like Dad. But now, when you get older, Mum, you and Amber are literally the same person. And I hate to say it, but me and Mark are quite.
You are very similar. Like, so we just were on a ski trip, and you two, your mannerisms, and Dad didn't see it initially. You would be doing some things or doing some little quirky expressions or mannerisms, and I'd just be like, "That is you," and he'd just be looking at it like, "What?" You don't see it necessarily in yourself.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, definitely, you're both very similar in your banter and mannerisms and
Banter.
banter. And what's the new thing you talk about? Your aura.
My aura. Yeah.
And how is your aura today? How's your aura on the podcast? Have we got good aura?
Well, I think I might gain... You obviously, being the host, the king of this podcast.
Queen.
Sorry. You have the most aura when on this podcast, but I'm probably gaining some aura from doing this podcast.
You're probably gaining aura and bringing more aura to me.
I mean, it probably goes me and you in the family on
Top
aura levels. Mark's there, Ziggy, Yogi, and then obviously Amber.
Okay.
At the bottom.
Like that.
Yeah.
So that's nice. The supportive siblings. I love that.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So, what was it like? Obviously, we talked about Amber and your relationship and stuff, like as siblings. You always said when you were little, I just remember this, you're like, oh, I really want a brother. I really wish I had an older brother. I was like, you'd be doing the same things.
Guy.
You got friends, you got older brothers, and you'd still be beating each other up and bickering.
I'm not saying I don't want a sister. I'm saying I want a brother as well. I wouldn't want two sisters, but I'd want a brother and a sister.
Why?
Because then you get best of both worlds. You
An
get
older brother?
the stuff that a brother would do and the stuff that a sister would do.
And you've got your dad. Your dad is basically mentally the same age as you and your friends.
Yeah, but okay, maybe a younger brother.
That you could push around.
No, not bully. Be like
the alpha.
The inspiration.
The inspiration.
I mean, I'm probably like that to Amber. She probably looks up to me quite a bit, but
well, she does because you're taller.
Yeah, but like inspirationally as well.
Does she?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's not like helping you with giving her all her A-level notes for your revision and things like that.
Well, but then again,
two subjects that she got really good.
But then again, she's doing the same thing with sports, so I'm not going to put her in the.
What, you're giving her notes?
I'm not giving her notes, but I'm giving her help, especially as she started rugby.
Well,
now.
rugby's a new sport.
So
for
thank
her.
you.
Yeah.
So let's not like.
So I'm not
down on me now.
I'm not. I'm just.
But she's helping
out.
me with PE and stuff, and I help her with
rugby.
Sport. Yeah, there you go.
I like it.
Goes both
this
ways.
This is like supportive, very supportive family. Okay, so one of our favourite things as a family to do is watch Modern Family.
I just know what you're going to say, and it's just so
who
annoying.
is who in Modern Family?
Susie is definitely.
I look like Gloria, but I behave like Claire.
Yeah, you're definitely Claire. Just
to a point.
The very worrying mother.
Controlling, I think is the word you're looking for.
Kind of crazy. Father is definitely Phil.
100%. We sit watching it and we're just like, oh my God, we are those people.
Amber is without a doubt Alex, the absolute loser neek who's just in the corner.
That's rude.
Okay, who would you say Amber is?
She's a mix.
You would say Alex.
She's a mixture of Hayley and Alex, I would say.
Okay, and I'd definitely say I mean, people say I'm Cam, but I don't see that as the gay person. But I'm probably... I'd like to say I'm Jay. Kind of the ruler of the family.
What, the old bloke?
Yes.
Married to the fit
Obviously
Colombian?
Not, yes, that's me.
Is that your life goal?
That is me, I'm Jay.
That is your life goal when
Jay.
you're like 60-something.
I'm Jay, the rich husband who is the owner of the family, basically.
The owner.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. And you've talked in conversations, so on like chairlifts, so we have. You're quite good at doing the deep chats thing.
Yeah.
Aren't you? So I would say, and you ask questions. It's really interesting. You ask quite interesting questions. But you have said that when you're older, whether that was a joke or not, I don't know, that you want 6 children. And how has that come about?
It's not 6 children, actually. That was a lie. It was 6 boys.
6 boys?
Yeah, 6 boys.
You know, you can't like just specify unless, like, maybe in the future you can genetically just say, right, I want boy.
Well, no, they'll know.
Will you just adopt them? Or
no, they'll know. They'll
have to have your genetics.
If my wife is pregnant, they'll know it have to be a boy.
Can't make it a boy, though. Yeah, but
I can talk to it.
And make it a boy.
6 boys, all named after Rocky characters.
Are you going to be like the Samoa, where if they have a family and they have something like 6 or 7 boys, I think it's like massive group. One of them, I think it's the second to last one, or what the last one has to be a girl, even if they're born like 6'5", 20 stone,
So one has to be
trans. Yeah, they have to change, and they have to do the housework, and they have to.
have to.
Yes, yes. Who's the rugby guy we met in Morocco on holiday? Cockerell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he obviously had worked with a lot of Samoan rugby players, and that is.
You talk Samoan okay,
culture.
I thought you meant like if I have to do
No, culturally, that's
right,
what I'm just saying. So you could have a girl and make her be a boy, because
I'm gonna have to okay, maybe not, but
you can't
but
just choose.
We'll just see what happens.
You get what you get.
Hopefully
Funny.
6 boys, hopefully.
And why 6 boys?
It's the perfect number. I can send them down 6 different paths and 6 different
What about
names.
7? And you could have a 7's rugby team.
No, because I will be the 7th person.
You'll be
my
too
children.
old.
No, Susie.
Too
please.
old.
Susie, please, I'll be playing.
Will you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they'll go down 6 different paths.
And what are the paths they're going to go?
Rugby player, football player. One I can't actually say. Boxer.
Why can't you say?
No, I can't say it.
Is it rude?
Yes. And
Porn star.
Yes. And
So like your father.
I'd probably say an actor, and then the last one will be a model.
What about tennis, golf, longevity sport,
No.
highly paid sport?
No.
No? Interesting. So you got into golf recently.
Mm-hmm. I
You
had a
professional
few
yet?
lessons. Recently a member at Hampton Court.
Nice.
So I'll be going there a lot in the summer.
But I just think it's a really nice thing for you and because sort of golf went out of not going to say fashion, because that's a really rubbish word.
Well, it
sort of went out of people. So for our area, it was like old people played golf, and then people did it for like corporate networking.
Yeah.
Now people go out on bikes, like cycle. A lot of business
Yeah.
guys will like network and meet and go for a bike ride. But golf, I feel, is like coming back, because there's some really cool younger golfers that are doing
it's
really
a bit
well.
of a. I don't know what it's like in football, but obviously football is big as well. But obviously it's mostly boys who play golf.
Is it?
Well, it is. I'm not. I'm not making a sexist comment, but it is mostly boys who play golf at this age. There's not many girls my age that I know play golf.
Okay.
Compared to boys.
All right. Take that.
But it is like a rugby thing. Like, there's a lot of, especially at like pro level now as well, lots of like the England rugby players all play golf.
There's a lot of footballers play golf.
Yeah,
as well.
I know. I'm saying football as well,
Yeah.
and
tennis.
all of my rugby mates who I play rugby, but then my football mates as well, all play golf now.
And do you think that's because I think for you guys, when you were younger, that you'd have your mates over to the house and you'd all like play football or basketball?
Yeah, I think it's just like, because it's like very different.
It's an activity that you can do. You can chat, you can have a laugh, but you're still doing a sport without knackering yourselves.
Yeah, and it's very different
yourself.
to all the sports that we do at the moment.
Yeah, it's a skill-based one rather than just whacking people.
Yeah.
But I just think it's come sort of full circle again. It's now quite a cool thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah. I would say it's a cool, cool. It's very cool.
But I think it's also golf clubs are trying to be more accessible. So there are some more local golf clubs that are like lower, because it got really, it was a very expensive. There's some very expensive golf clubs, which not everybody your age, unless your parents pay for you or whatever, could afford to do.
Yeah.
And also, so they've made it accessible, which is great. So there's much more public courses that you can just rock up, pay a green fee and play.
Yeah.
You don't have to be signed in or sworn in by members and all that stuff, which Dad's maybe about to do. For these really expensive golf clubs unnecessarily. So it encourages, it's great. It encourages you guys. And you've got a guy in your school, haven't you, who's an amazing golfer.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? You can say his name.
Yeah, Chris Kim. Last year, at a similar time, it was like May-ish last year, and he did this because he's sponsored by this, can't remember what they're called, but I think it's a Korean company, and they have a tournament. Korean. He is Korean, South Korean, and there was a PGA tournament, and because their company ran it, they could enter one amateur, and he's classed as an amateur because he was 16 when he did it, and then he got through the first cut, which was like crazy for a 16-year-old and everything, so he got a bit of craze from that, and he's just left my school because...
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Actually left now?
Yeah, he's left.
Oh.
Because my school was trying to make him to do mocks to miss the same tournament, which is going to happen the same time this year. But he'll be fine because he'll probably become a professional golfer.
He's probably got $1 million in the bank already.
Yeah, I mean he's already earning money, but he can't actually like get it directly to him because
No,
he's still under 18.
That's pretty cool, though,
Yeah.
isn't it? But when he joined the school, wasn't it? He was so... You called him squishy.
Yeah.
Little squishy.
Little squish ball.
He was very cute, but he was hardly ever at school because he was off
Yeah.
competing all over Europe and wherever.
Yeah.
But it's quite good. It's great. I think it's a really good thing for you guys your age to see someone doing something really intensely and doing really well at it
Yeah.
at a young age. And I think that's the sport you could do at that age because it's not really an age thing. Like rugby, it's a bit tricky. You couldn't get like a 14-year-old playing against like 25-year-olds because they'd get smashed. Whereas golf, it's skill. So, you know, you could do it at any age.
Yeah.
So you're not going to become a professional golfer anytime soon yet? I mean, it's difficult because you've probably got so many people like banging on the door to get you to do all these amazing sign you up contracts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So should I become your agent, do you think?
I think I'm going to leave that to Granny. Granny's going to become my agent.
Is she?
Yep. Because I feel like she's got the same traits as you, but she's just a little more mature. And she can help me out with that.
But she'll be more upset if people say... But she can't watch you play rugby.
No, she can.
She can't. She gets very upset.
Yeah,
if
she
people
prefers
hurt
me
you.
playing football, but I'm going to have to say no to that.
I can't... Well, I could never watch... Well, the school football was right. It was the Sunday club football, which was just...
Beautiful.
Horrific.
Amazing.
Honestly, I had to be taken away sometimes because just
Hold her back.
The back chat to the refs, the swearing, and that's just the parents.
They normally got silence when I scored 2 or 3 goals and just silence.
Did they? I mean, one boy, and you're like, when he was quite young, Bertie, when he was being goalkeeper, he was called the C word that I hate and I punch people. A parent stood behind the goal and actually swore at this boy who was maybe like 9 at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, just horrific.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not go down that route of football versus rugby versus any other sport.
Yeah.
Okay. And plans for... Oh, no, I was going to talk to you about, actually, is your friendship groups, because you've probably got you have got a very nice group of friends, I think. And I think when you're all together, having noticed you obviously like in groups and stuff, but you do have like certain friends for certain things or like, you know, support in your life.
Yeah.
So you have like friends you'd have your like deep chats with that you could literally open up. And I think that's really, really important, especially at your age and especially being a boy. I think girls talk about stuff way too much, probably.
Yeah.
More, but boys tend to keep everything a bit more in and don't necessarily, because they don't want to show weakness, especially like a rugby boy, or if you're sporty, if you show weakness, it's seen as a really bad thing.
But the amount of times I've had a deep chat and found out something about someone that's actually like really deep and like life changing for them, I don't think I would have found out if I didn't have that deep chat with them and like initiate that deep chat.
And do you think they feel comfortable telling you because you're used to talking in that way? Or because we do, I think, you know, we have quite too open sometimes conversations in this family, and we sit down and talk about stuff.
I feel like there's some people at my school who are like, they're like big alphas and all of that, and they won't like kind of, if they went to you and like asked for a deep chat, you'd be not like scared but didn't want to open up. But obviously I'm still an alpha. But
are you?
I am. But I feel like it's gonna sound cringy, but kind of people, there's some people that if you said that to them, they just will like take the piss out of you basically. But I don't think I would, even though I do take the piss out of a lot of people. But in that,
but I think like
when it gets serious in that certain situation, I wouldn't.
But like, you know, what was my favourite expression I used to say to you a few years ago when you were being a complete knob? Time and a place. Time and a place. So there's a time and a place to be a knob and banter and take the piss out of people, and then you've just got to be able to like read it a little bit, read the room a little bit, or read their feelings. Because and I know with you boys, it's all like banter. But actually, sometimes you've got to think how you do feel if you were like on the other side of that. And I know you're not going to do it because you're all 17-year-old boys, but sometimes you actually go and you say, oh, yeah, they're fine with it. They laugh about it. And actually, you know, not saying you, but like just generally your age group.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you just got to be a little bit sensitive to certain topics that you might take the pee out of people. Yeah. Like you know, if they can give as good as they get, then that's fine. But it's when if it's just one-sided, then it's a bit
Yeah.
mean, I think.
Yeah.
But I think, it's tricky because your house at school is like all boys. How many boys in your house?
90.
90
Biggest
teenage
house.
boys from age 13 to 18.
Yep.
I mean, that is just... How many loaves of bread do they have for, like, a day?
There's, like, trolleys that come out with
They have
toast.
toast at break time, and their 4 people make all the toast
Yeah.
for you guys. I would not want to be in that room.
And people normally have, well, it depends, but on average, each person will have 3 or 4
Pieces of bread.
Yeah. And then the big dogs will go, like, big numbers.
So, are you a big dog?
I'm not a big dog, no.
No.
Because it depends now, because when you're in sixth form, you have, like, early lunch, so you'll eat toast. And then like, an hour later, you'll eat again, so, like, you got to just, like, contain yourself.
And you're lucky because your mum wakes you up and makes you a very nice breakfast every morning.
Yeah.
So, okay, so talking about friends with deep chats, but, like, parents-wise, there's certain things that I know that you would come to me for and certain things you'd go to Dad for. Mm-hmm. What do you think they are?
What about girls? It'll be like you.
Yeah. And food.
Girls, food. Probably like school stuff as well. You. Not like school help, but like...
Just logistics.
Yeah.
I'm the logistics.
Sports
massage.
And then probably, well, like talking about sport and... Training and... Probably talking about my mates and stuff a bit more with Dad, because obviously he's like...
He's a boy.
He's a lad. But yeah.
Obviously he knows your mates quite well.
Yeah.
I think...
But they're obviously probably talking about like girls and stuff like that with you.
And Amber. You do tap into her a bit, which is quite good.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll come to me and ask a question and I'm like...
Just wrong generation.
What I would say as a 53-year-old woman and advise you is probably not the right thing.
Yeah.
So, because I'm as near your age, it's probably from a girl's perspective what the right thing to do or say would be.
Yeah.
You're so lucky. You have like just this amazing support network, Flynn. I mean, you are just the luckiest
They all
boy.
just like look up to me though, so it's just...
Well, it's because you're tall. You're taller than me and Amber.
No, it's not that. I'm talking...
We all look up to you.
Yes.
Do we?
Yes.
Do you think that?
Yes. Even though I'm the youngest, you all follow my steps.
No, one thing we talked about this earlier, but you were a little cuddler when you were little.
And how's that got anything to do with me?
Because you are still a cuddler, so you're.
Yeah, but how's that got anything to do with you?
Because I will come to you and I have to look. Well, I have to look up to you to ask for cuddle, but you.
I'm not talking about you looking up to me.
I know, but I am. Okay. I am.
Okay.
Okay. One thing I do want to talk about actually is Flynn's haircuts, because that's been a thing.
Okay.
Through the ages.
Let's talk about them. I'm gonna let you talk about them.
I'm going to talk about your haircut. So when you were little, you had like this little wispy hair, and I didn't cut it for ages. And
that's it. I'm never allowing my kid to look like that.
But,
I look dirty.
Yeah, but it's very cute when you're a little baby. And then
shape them up.
Then you started getting into like the short hair cuts, and your idol at the time was Ronaldo style haircuts.
Cristiano.
So, can I tell the story about there's 2 stories about your hair.
Go on, mate.
One about, so you used to have the line, I don't know what it's called. Like,
slick to the side, line down there, and then just short back and sides. It's the casual that everyone used to have.
Before you went, so you still
Astros.
you still go to the same barber, and you literally would look up on the iPad, like images for haircuts. And
I still do that now on my phone, and I'll just show them.
But you did come to me and you said, "Can I have this haircut?" And it was, you'd enlarged the photo, and it was Ronaldo, and obviously it wasn't a real haircut, and it was
Oh right, yeah.
It was basically a cock and balls on the side of his head that someone had obviously put on, and you were very little, and you came to me and you said, "I want this. I want like a rocket, like." And I was like, "No, you can't have that." And you were like, "So unfair! You never let me do it."
Maybe it would look good.
And I was like, "Flynn, that is not a rocket." I said, "That's not a real haircut," and had to explain to you sort of what it was. And then you were like, "Oh." But I did allow you and your dad unsupervised to go to the barber's, and you'd drawn a whole design, and you had the word boom shaved in.
Then it went into a little like target darts board, and then like the boom going in there, mate. It was hard. Absolutely hard. The ladies loved it back in the day.
And how old were you?
Like year 2. But
you were like 9 or something. Mate? I think you were about 9.
Yeah, they love it.
And you two went to the Barber's, and then we came met you for pizza. And I just all remember us walking into the Pizza Express, and you had Dad's baseball hat on, and I was like, and all I could see was like bare skin around the back of your neck. And you were so pleased with yourself from having it. I couldn't say what the hell has happened to your hair.
Like it?
Huh?
You didn't like it?
I didn't like it age 9, Flinny. It was too...
So if I got it now, it'd be fine.
Well, slightly better because you're 17. But, and then Dad's... I was like, what have you done? And Dad was like, yeah, that's what he wanted. I was like, yeah, but he's 9 or 8 or whatever
It's
you
like
were.
that clip from Modern Family where Phil gives Luke that mohawk. Just beautiful.
Yeah. Luckily, it was school holidays. And luckily, the problem was we were going to Morocco on holiday.
Yeah.
So, and you kept getting upset because everybody kept calling you Boom Boy. I'm like, why does everybody keep calling me Boom Boy? I was like, because you got Boom written on the back of your head.
They loved it.
They did love it. So that was an experience. And then the other funny one was when Dad was let loose when he took you and Kin.
Yeah. For the same trim.
So Kintaro has like very thick, straight sort of Japanese hair. And he went to have a haircut, and they basically looked like the Cray brothers, the Cray twins, when he came out with his sort of slick hair.
Yeah.
And Dad thought that Kin's dad, our friend Tim, was coming to pick him up, and it was Patricia, the mum, who's quite spicy.
One of the biggest ladies you ever meet.
She's the tiniest person, but she is ferocious if she lets rip.
Yeah.
And he was quite scared because he'd taken Kin for a haircut, and it wasn't actually
They were good haircuts, though.
He did, and he continued with that haircut, and it's good. It's good. Mm-hmm. All right, Flynn. Well, you've got a few scabs and scrapes on you from the weekends of rugby shenanigans.
Yep.
So that's your last festival work team with under 17s for now. Mm-hmm. And then we wait results, don't we, to see whether the squad continues or who's going to be in the under 18 squad ongoing. How are we feeling about that?
I'm happy.
You're good.
I'm happy with how I performed.
Exactly. You played really well, and that's all you can do, really, isn't it? It's down to coaches and selection. It's out of your hands.
Yep.
Now that's all you can do is do your best, and that's all we want for you, Flinny. Do your best.
Shut your face.
In everything. Shut your face. That's nice, isn't it? I said that to you all the time.
That's what I get from her.
Shut your face. Mm-hmm. Well, it was better than shut your mouth or shut up. I hate the word shut up like that. Shut your face. I don't know why that's better.
That's banging.
Shut your face. All right, shut your face, Flynn.
Yep.
Thanks. Bye. Thank you. Thanks.